Hi, this is Randy Wykoff, the Dean of the College of Public Health at East Tennessee State University, and I'm pleased to provide this week's update on the COVID-19 pandemic in the United States for the week of October 10th, 2020. As you know, we've been following the pandemic since it started in the U.S. around March. It's been growing rapidly ever since, and now has had over 200,000 deaths in the United States alone. That's about 6 times more deaths than we normally see in a year from seasonal flu. Been almost 8 million confirmed cases and about a 2.5% increase in the past week. Remember, we're looking for a week-to-week increase of well less than 1% to tell us that the pandemic is really leveling off. As always, I would like to remind everyone that through 8 months of the year, we would normally have expected this many deaths from the 10 leading causes of death. COVID-19 is solidly in third place and still growing. In terms of total cases, we grew quickly, slowed down, grew again, appears to be coming back up again. But as always, cases are a bit misleading. So if you look at deaths, you can see early on we had a very rapid rise in deaths. It dropped, and then in July started to go back up again. And the daily deaths seem to be leveling off now, perhaps even coming down a little bit. But again, we don't want to take too much comfort in that because of what happened in March and April. I mean, the numbers can go up very quickly, and then in July they went up again. As with the rest of the world, it's important to remember that the pandemic isn't here all at once everywhere, right? There are states like New York, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Connecticut, where it grew very quickly early on, and it's essentially leveled off. In other words, they're not seeing a lot of new deaths. Conversely, there's states like Virginia that have slowed down, states like Tennessee that are still growing, and then states like South Dakota, North Dakota, Wisconsin that are growing very quickly. In Europe, we're seeing an unusual phenomenon. We're seeing a very rapid increase, a very strong increase in total cases, but not a significant increase in total deaths. We are seeing an increase, but nothing like what we're seeing in total cases. And there's a couple of possible explanations for that. But probably what's happening is they're testing much, much more. And were we testing more in the U.S., we would see an increase in our cases as well. But this is worth following because if these cases start translating into deaths, as they are, but not as much as we might expect, this could represent a pretty significant impact on the health in Europe and potentially in the United States. As you mentioned, we follow the week-to-week growth rate. It's about 2.5% this week. What we'd like to see it do is get down to the 0.1, 0.2, 0.3% week-to-week growth rate that we've been seeing in some European countries, and that'll tell us that the pandemic is leveling off. But what we can see, this is a really important map to look at. This map shows in dark the counties that have had cases, the most cases from the beginning, and then it's going to transition into those counties that have had cases in the last 2 weeks. And I think you'll find this really interesting. What you can see is Wisconsin, the Dakotas, a little bit of Iowa, Wyoming. There's sporadic areas that are seeing increases in cases. And what this tells us is the pandemic doesn't hit everywhere at once. It spreads out. It seems to have hit our major metropolitan areas first and is now spreading into smaller metro areas and into rural areas. If this is the pattern and it's going to continue, that's probably some evidence that we may see a leveling off like we've seen in Europe. However, as I mentioned, we got to keep an eye on what's happening there as well. So keep up to date. Go to the college website periodically. Check out what we've got there. We add some videos from time to time. If you know anyone who'd like to be added to the mailing list, please let us know. As always, thanks to Melissa White, my graduate assistant, for updating these slides, and Derry Young, our media coordinator, for editing, producing, and posting them. If you have any questions or any topics you'd like to see me cover, please let me know. I'd look forward to hearing from you, and I'd be happy to try to find an answer for you. Thank you very much.